Save. Okay, looks like we're recording.
Perfect.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Job Search Boot Camp. We're really excited. This is the first time we've ever done something like this. And Erica and I were a little skeptical on how much interaction we'd have since it was the summer, but we got a lot of people signed up. So hopefully some more will trickle in today. But yeah, we're really excited to start. I'm going to just go over what our office does really quickly. I'm not sure like the mix of who's a current student, who's an alumni, grad student. So I'll just give you guys a quick rundown of what we do. So we're the Career Development Center. You guys have access to our services for a lifetime. So once you're a student and beyond, like you can still access all of our services. So we have a couple assistant directors, myself, Erica, and another assistant director, and we work with the students one-on-one. So we are kind of liaisons to certain colleges within CMU. So I work with the College of Business and then the College of Arts and Media, and then Erica works with the College of Education and Human Services, EHS. Sometimes I just know the acronym. And then we have another one who works with engineering and then health professions. So we partner with different companies for events and career fairs. The student appointments we hold are on a range of different topics from, resumes and cover letters, obviously, but then job search assistants like we're doing today, grad school prep, as far as putting together personal statements and things like that, networking, LinkedIn profiles. We're going to go over almost all of that stuff in the boot camp too. So we have student appointments, we have events, and then we have a couple programs. We have an interview program where students can practice interviews. It's a really great resource for you guys. And then also a program called First Impressions, which Erica supervises. I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog drinking water. I thought it was silent before, but then someone told me they could hear it. So she supervises First Impressions, which is an awesome program we have where students can receive free professional clothing, one free outfit every semester. So for those of you who are still in school, totally utilize it because professional clothing is expensive if you've ever shopped for it, and our stuff is really nice, sometimes with the tag on it from Macy's. So really utilize First Impressions. Not sure, Erica, if you know, we'll be in person or not, but normally we have a store in the UC. We've been doing kind of like a virtual appointment where you get your sizes and things like that, and then we put together a bag and students pick it up in our office. But I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen in the fall. Do you know, Erica?
Yeah, still unsure.
Still
Still
unsure.
unsure for the fall.
Yep. So student appointments, events, our programs, and then yeah, hopefully we'll be, for those of you who are still students, doing a lot more this fall and everything, trying to hold some more in-person events and fun things for you guys to get involved with. So that's the gist of our office. Erica, do you have anything to add that maybe I missed on that?
I don't think so. But just knowing that, whether you're in Mount Pleasant or you're, studying at a distance or at one of our global campus centers or you're an alumni, all of our services are available to you. So we want to emphasize that, our one-on-one appointments are always available virtually, but so are our programs. So, know that you can always utilize those.
And if anybody has questions throughout, feel free to unmute or you can type it in the chat. I'll try to keep my eye on that just as we go if you have any questions. So what we're going to kind of do each day for the boot camp is around 30 minutes of, I guess we could call it instruction or Erica and I talking. Then there'll be a 10-minute Q&A, so any questions, and then a 15-minute activity. The Q&A and activity can vary, so for instance, today we're going to do the Q&A first, and then you guys are going to do the activity on your own, but some days we're going to have you guys do the activity while we're still here in the WebEx room. So I'm sorry, my computer is wanting to update now, of course. So, okay, got that done. Okay.
And the activity we might end up doing in some breakout rooms as well.
Yeah, some of them might be, like practicing. I know we have like an elevator speech, like practice thing that you'll be paired up with some people for. So, yeah, some will be breakout rooms for that. And then, yep, Monday through Thursday, 11 to 12. Okay, Erica, do you want to start with what we're going to go over
Absolutely.
today?
Yeah. So today, day one, we are covering Handshake. For those of you who have not gotten into Handshake yet, we're going to kind of start with the basics, but then we're going to go more in depth. So what we're going to cover today is how to fill out a profile. So there's a lot more than just filling out your name, things like that, but really how to get noticed by an employer. So how to fill out the profile, making sure that you're filling out your career interests, because that does customize that main page of Handshake for you. How to search for employers, and then what are the things you should be looking for employers on Handshake as well. And then we're going to cover how to search for jobs, how to use filters, how to search for events and what you should be looking for within events, how to utilize our resources within Handshake. So we have external resources on there, and then how to make an appointment to use all of our resources within our office. So that's a lot of stuff. So we have a lot to cover in 30 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I'm going to kick us off here. So let me go ahead and share. Hopefully you can all see that
Yep.
and how to record a WebEx because that's what I was Googling. Okay, so when you first log into Handshake, so basically, I'm going to go ahead and start from even how to even get in Handshake for anyone who doesn't know that. So our website, which is careers.cmish.edu. That main web page is probably the easiest way to get to Handshake. So when you scroll down, you're going to see a big button in the middle of the screen that says Handshake. When you click on that, it's going to take you right here. But when you first log in, it's going to ask you for your global ID and password. Now, if you are an alum or you haven't used your global ID and password for a long time, you may need to either A, call the help desk so we can get you that information, make sure you're in there, or maybe you're not in Handshake any longer and we might have to put you in. If you're a current student, you should automatically have a Handshake account. So if for some reason you are unable to get into Handshake, just message us in the chat, email us, just let us know, and we will make sure we are getting you in right away because for this boot camp, having Handshake is going to be very important. Handshake is very essential to the job search and to using the career development resources. It's kind of like our career management system. So it's really important that we get you set up in there. So within Handshake, couple different things that I want to show before Sophie takes over and shows you just some of the other resources here. First of all, if you click on your initials here in the top right-hand corner and you click on my profile, probably a lot of you have LinkedIn. It's kind of similar to LinkedIn when you go to fill out your profile. Our SAP system does pull some of your information. So it'll pull major, it'll pull, like for me, alumni, it'll pull my GPA from when I was a CMU student, and then it'll pull like my overall education. From there, I have to go through and fill out like my work experience, my volunteer experience, and this is all stuff I will want to go through and fill out because employers can search for you. So when an employer goes on here, they can do a general search for students and alumni by typing in keywords. So say you have a specific major, they can type in that major to search for you. So they can look for you and they can reach out to you and, say, hey, we have this position available. We think you should apply without you ever applying to a position first. So really important that you fill out this profile to the best of your ability. So going through, putting in different projects you've completed maybe, a really important part of this is putting in documents. So putting in your resume, maybe even like a standard cover letter. But then the other part is when you upload a resume, so say I go to put this in, say I select it from my computer, I'll go through and I'll select one because I think this is really important to see this. When you select your resume, you'll want to make sure that you make it public. So let's say I select my resume, I upload it in there. Can you all see this as I'm putting it in? So I can upload my resume, get it in there. If I never click make it make it public, an employer will never see it. So the problem is that if I don't make it public, the career center will never see it, the employers will never see it. And so it's really, really important that you check that box. For some reason, my computer is not allowing me to upload my resume right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if it's frozen or what's
Which
going on, but I wanted to make sure. Okay.
Of course, that's happening right now. But the biggest thing is when you upload a document, it'll say make this your public resume, and you'll check it, and then that'll make that resume your public one. Because you can have multiple documents on here, you can have multiple resumes, so that way you're saving them on Handshake, but you just want to make sure you select the correct one to be your public one. So those are kind of the basics of the profile. Just make sure you're going through really carefully and really filling that out to the best of your ability. For the profile picture, a lot of people think that they have to take like this really professional photo, have someone take it of them. iPhones are really great now, Android phones, any smartphones. So just stand in front of a blank backdrop, have a nice looking blouse or shirt on, have someone take a picture of you. That's usually pretty good for your profile picture.
And if you see Erica and I's thumbnails by the seal, we just took those with our iPhone. So you could find someplace on campus that's, professional background and take it. Just our iPhones, and we use that. So yeah, no
Really?
need to like hire anybody or make a big deal about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next, sorry guys, my voice is really bad. So it's gonna crack a couple times here. The next section I wanna make sure everyone sees is the career interests. So if we click on our initials again, and we go down to this My Career Interests. When we go through, we wanna make sure we're filling this out. So it's kind of like a questionnaire. So what type of job are you looking for? If we're looking for a full-time job, maybe we're looking for an internship, any type of thing here. A thing to know is within Handshake, you're not going to find many part-time jobs. Most things posted in here are looking for four-year degrees, full-time work, or internships. How can Handshake help you? What are you looking for after graduation? Or if you're already graduated, what are you looking for? Where do you want to live? All of these things are going to help Handshake then customize the main screen for you. So what I mean by that is when we go back to that profile on the first screen here, now it's not just going to have these random things here, but it's going to have specific events, specific jobs, popular things in your major, and recommendations based on how you filled out those career interests. So it's really important that you fill that out. Okay, one last thing I'm going to cover before Sophie takes over is the employer section. So if I click on employers, now Sophie's going to show you how to look at jobs. But sometimes maybe we're not finding jobs that we really are searching for, or we want to search for a specific employer. So what I really like as a feature in Handshake is that, for instance, in this employer section, we can search by location, which is really neat. I'm going to let Sophie kind of show you those filters and all that stuff. But what I really like about our employer section, say I click on an employer. What's neat about this is we can see if we've had students who have worked there. So we can message those students. We can ask them about their experiences. We can get contact information. Typically, on this one, I'm not seeing it, but we sometimes have public staff lists. So you can see our recruiters at that company sometimes. Sometimes we have interview questions. Let me find a different company because sometimes we have interview questions. Let's click on like Target because that's going to be a big company that's going to have those. So we have reviews. So people will say how they like working for Target. We have experience with interviews. So if you're going to be interviewing with Target, they'll tell you how they had experiences interviewing there as well. You'll see here's the public staff list. You can reach out directly to our campus recruiters, store directors. Right here, we have questions and answers that you can look at as well. Tons of students who have worked at Target, over 30,000 people. So again, it's going to determine based on size of employer. You saw in that small logistics company, we didn't have a ton. But this is what's really neat about Handshake is that you can really find a lot of great information that you're not going to find on some of those other job boards. All right, Sophie, if you want to go ahead and show them, I think we're looking at jobs next.
Yeah, we'll give Erica voice a little bit of a break here. So, this is the jobs area. Again, you can just access it right at the top. It's pretty easy to find. If you've ever searched for jobs on like LinkedIn or Indeed, it's very similar to that. So, you have a search box where you can type in keywords or position titles. So, let's just say you're looking for an accounting position. You're going to type that in. And then you can use those filters on the top. So looking for a full-time job, maybe in Detroit, let's just say, you can search. We have jobs all over the country and the world, so you can search wherever you want. And then it's going to bring up the different things. So let's just say we look at this first one. You can see the application deadline, when it was posted, U.S. work authorization. Then it's going to go through kind of the company and what the role is like. And then it can match you to what they're looking for. So do you meet their GPA and school year requirement? Is your major matching up with what they're looking for? Then you can also read about the company and then see similar jobs. So really nice and helpful. There's another section up there at the top, Erica, if you want to click on all filters. And then you guys can see as she scrolls down, there's a whole bunch of other things that you can use to kind of filter the jobs. So really similar to any other job board that you might have seen. I would say I think it's pretty intuitive, but again, if you guys have questions on any of this stuff, definitely feel free to reach out to us. So yeah, typing in the keyword, using the filters, and then being able to read about the job, and then there's that apply button that you can use as well. All right, anything I missed there, Erica?
I don't think so. I think that's it in the job section. It's pretty self-explanatory. So,
Yeah. Okay, let's go to events now. It's up on the top by jobs. So this will list all of the different events that we have going on. So these are some of the career fairs that are coming up in the fall, but there's some other events farther down that you can see, and you'll be able to click on those events. So let's say, Erica, just pick one to click on. Okay, so this is Alpha Kappa Psi, which is the career fair that we partner with the business fraternity at CMU. It's a really big career fair in the fall, so I encourage all of you to go if you're looking for something. But it'll give you a description of the event and then kind of some instructions on how to register, other important things you need to know about it, uploading your resume, things like that. Oh, and we actually have one employer signed up right now. So usually when you go down to this last part of the page, it will say employers attending, and you can see all the different employers that are going to be there. Right now we just have one listed, but go ahead and click on that, Erica, and then we can show them what looking at the employers does. So you definitely, before the career fair, want to go on this event page, look at all the employers and kind of pick out a couple that you want to target at the career fair, because that's going to kind of give you, you don't want to go into the career fair not knowing who to talk to, not having read about the company, not knowing what positions they're hiring for. So definitely go through the list in, very, very in detail and make sure you know about the employer. So Erica, does it say on here, where is it that says what jobs they're hiring for and things like that? Okay, right there, we got full-time employment.
yeah, so typically when they register, it's going to be later on that they put those in.
Okay, so yeah, but you get the idea that you should, the events will have detail on how to, and register, what the event's going to consist of, and then the employers that are going to be there. That's going to be for the career fair events. We have some other events. Erica, why don't you just go back and click on, another event that we might be holding?
Yep.
Maybe that webinar series.
Oh, yep.
since we kind of went through the recruiter event. So here's like a webinar series. You can see who it's hosted by, learn about them, and then get the link to attend the event. So we have a bunch of different events with different companies, and then we have those career fairs, Meet the Recruiters Night, Fall Alpha Kappa Psi career fair, where you're able to read about the different employers, see what kind of jobs they're hiring for, and kind of target who you want to go see at the career fairs. Okay, anything there, Erica?
I think that was it for that one as well.
Okay, perfect. Let's show them the resources really quick, and then we'll show them how to make an appointment, and then we'll be all set for our instruction part of this. So can you go to just the home screen again, just
Yeah.
so we can just, yep, right there. Perfect. So you can either click the Central Michigan University Career Center down there, or Career Center in the top right. So whichever one of those you want to click. And then it's going to bring you to this page. So for resources, you're going to click resources. And then this is where we have a bunch of external resources. So let's say you're interested in going to graduate school. Go ahead and click that, Erica. You can see we have a couple different links to help you get started with that and resources for you to use. So if you go back, Erica, we can show them like some of the networking stuff that we have on there. So we have links to those at the top are professional websites where you can upload, different works that you have done and things that you want employers to see maybe on a personal website. And then we have LinkedIn and then Mount Pleasant Young Professionals Network also that you can click on. So those are kind of the external resources that we have on there for you guys. And then let's lastly go through there's a couple other ones, job search resources. That's important for you guys. So the Michigan-based job boards, a couple that you can use there. And then we have links to those large boards like Indeed, Simply Hired, internships.com.
And Simply Hired's good because that one pulls boards from all over the internet and pulls them all into one resource. So I highly suggest that one, like if you're looking for out of state. If you're looking in state, Pure Michigan Talent Connect is a really great one as well.
Perfect. Okay, so let's lastly show them how to make an appointment. For those of you who have met with us before, you'll know how to do this, but same thing by going to Career Center at the top around that other area. And then under appointments, you'll go to that and then schedule a new appointment. And here's going to bring up the different categories of appointments that you can schedule. So I kind of went through, the different appointment types that we have. So mock interviews and first impression, you can make appointments for that. Application materials. Let's just say, Erica, pick one of them that you would like to have an appointment.
Yeah, let's do application materials.
Okay, cool. So then within application materials, you have a couple different options. You have a general resume review, and then you can pick based on your college or alumni. So if we're just going to pick general, it's going to pull up all the dates and times that someone is available for that. And you can go through and pick, what works for you. Click on what works, and then it's going to have you fill out a little bit here about, your name, your major, how you heard about us, things like that. It's going to be, right now, at least everything's on Microsoft Teams for this summer. Again, kind of TBD on the fall, what things are going to look like. But those are kind of the other things on Handshake that I was going to go over. Does anybody have any questions on anything so far? Again, if you're not super comfortable unmuting yourself, feel free to type it in the chat. We'll give people a little bit of time to kind of get their questions out. Maybe for some of you that was, a quick overview of things that you already knew, but hopefully for some of you that was a good kind of learning session on Handshake.
And just as like an overview of kind of what we're going to cover. So the next couple days, tomorrow we're going to talk about some external sites. So what are good sites to look at to start applying? And we'll kind of show you how to utilize those. Day 3, we're going to cover interviews and elevator pitches. So how to prepare for interviews, how to cover those elevator pitches, and how to answer common questions. And then day 4 is going to be all about LinkedIn and networking. So right now we can cover any questions about the rest of boot camp, or any questions you have about Handshake. And then we'll go into kind of what we'd like you to prepare for tomorrow. No questions from anyone?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Yes, if you can't make a session, we are recording all the sessions and we will send those out at the end of the week. So if you're registered, you will get an email at the end of the week with all the sessions.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go over, we'll kind of keep an eye on the chat if people have more questions, but let's go over what we're going to have you guys do for next, or for today, I guess, as like your activity that we want you to do.
So for today, for the activity, we want you to go into Handshake, make sure you get your profile fully filled out, and then upload your resume. And then for tomorrow boot camp, we're going to start each session of boot camp. So for tomorrow's, we're going to start off by talking about the previous day's activity. So for the rest of the days, we're going to most likely do the activities during boot camp. But today's, we figured it would probably be easier for you to do them on your own and you know, not be paired up with people, since it's kind of an individual thing to fill out your profile and upload your resumes. But we want to make sure you all have those in Handshake, so that way when you are scheduling appointments, we can all have access to those things. So that's today's activity, making sure that you're all set on Handshake, profiles filled out, and resumes filled out on Handshake.
Did you see the question from Caleb? Is there a maximum?
Nope, you can add as many documents as you want. You just want to make sure that that one is checked as public, the one that you want employers and for us to see.
Yep. Well,
and we'll cover questions based off of that tomorrow.
Yeah, and we can stay in this room if anybody just wants to stay after and ask us any questions. Yep. But I would say at this point, if you don't have any other questions, thanks for coming today. Hopefully this was a helpful session for you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11.
Yeah. And we'll just stay in here. The rest of it is planned for questions and activity. So go ahead and feel free to work on that and kind of work with us as we're in here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Hey, Matt, did you have a question? Oh, I missed this one. Is this one from Matt? Yes.
Hi, Matt. What is your degree?
Yeah.
Public history. Okay. Yeah. That's one that's definitely having a hard time recovering. That's okay. No problem with the mic. So couple different things here. And one of these we're actually covering tomorrow. But there's a board called What Can I Do with This Major? And you actually have to go through our website to go to it. But what that board does is it actually takes you to specific job boards for your major. So that would be a really great one. It's not, when you go there, you're not going to be able to go through a specific like public history. You're going to have to find the closest one to your major, but that's going to be a really good one. The other one that I would suggest is LinkedIn, which is going to be day 4. So what we always suggest and where we've seen alumni and students have the best success is if they connect with our other alums and students on LinkedIn with the same majors, because you can actually see what our alumni are doing on LinkedIn with the same major. And we're finding that a lot of people are connecting with them and then ending up getting jobs out of that. And not connecting and saying, like, hey, I need a job, but instead connecting and saying, like, hey, I have a major in this. I see that you're in that field. Can you give me any tips or strategies to get there? That's where we're seeing the best success. Now, are you looking within what state are you looking in? Or what location specifically? In Ohio, Michigan,
Oh,
Illinois, Indiana. Okay,
good range.
that's good because you're pretty open. So I would definitely, I mean, keep tuning into boot camp because we're going to go over those resources in the next couple days that are going to be really helpful. But for Michigan, I would do that Pure Michigan Talent Connect that we showed today. And Hello West Michigan is for the west side of the state here. You can upload your resume and then they actually help you find positions on the west side of the state. So that's another good one that could be helpful. But I think you're going to get some good resources out of the boot camp over the next couple days. You know, today was kind of a basic day showing you Handshake, but we're going to get more in depth over the next couple days with those resources you're looking for. So definitely tune into those. And then Matt, after that, if you're still feeling like you need some specific resources, feel free to set up an appointment with us.
Yeah, it can definitely be frustrating.
Yeah. And we're finding, you know, that this is kind of the case with people, with some people, is that it is a frustrating process. It's a long process. So you're not the only person that it's a longer process for. But I will tell you that a lot of people are seeing an uptick right now in getting hired. So yes, your specific field did suffer from COVID. So I mean that's definitely part of it. But I think that we're definitely seeing an increase in positions getting hired again. It does tell me if you're having interviews though that it's not necessarily a resume thing. Maybe we even need to look at doing like a mock interview with you and see if we can give you some advice on maybe where we can help you with the interview skills too. Yeah, we can, if you email me, here, I'll put my email in the chat. We can work with you to figure out a time that we can get you in for something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just in the email, make sure you say that you're from the boot camp and we'll figure something out. No problem. It was good to meet you today, and hopefully we'll see you over the next couple days in here.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. You
You
too.
too.